They're still our kids, although a couple of them have reached 30 already. So Magnus grew up in the 90s. He was quite a cute boy. Magnus was born in November 1990. He already had a sister, Ellen, who was 1.5 years old.
We would trade off me playing with more girly things and getting him to join playing with dolls and doing dress up and do songs and be all showy, and then I would have to play with his cars. And you know, he loved reading about the commune flags and knowing the area of all the communes and the number of inhabitants, and he would make me quiz him.
And the favorite one is John Deere.
Ah, so like any other kid.
Yeah. My wife and I, we considered our children to be absolutely normal in many respects, basically. Now, later, I understand that they had some special traits. And clearly Magnus, he was into concentrating for hours at a time, doing various tasks, whether it was Legos or chess or math or sports results. And this is from his Lego phase. He turned 5 and he was, it was fun to have some friends over, but I think his main occupation was the new big Lego he had received that day.
So any chess pictures in here, or is this too early?
This is too early.
If I were to become world champion, that would be great.
Magnus Carlsen, the Mozart of chess.
Magnus had shown clear inclination and ability to certain activities, concentrated activities, that I thought would match well with chess, basically. So I tried to teach Magnus and his older sister chess when he was 4.5. And then it was so difficult for them, really. I mean, they could learn the rules, we could play some games. Typically I would start with just one pawn and my king, and they would try to beat me with all their forces. But in the end it was usually a stalemate, or sometimes I even won with my one pawn. If I had any aspirations for the kids, basically that went all the way during the first year or two. Fortunately, because it turned out that chess was much more difficult than I had understood, basically. And when Magnus started becoming really interested in chess at 7.5, he said because he wanted to beat his older sister. Then I didn't have that much ambition on his behalf, and he was allowed to develop and flourish on his own, basically. And then maybe half a year later, I rediscovered that, okay, he has a talent for chess. My initial inclination was right. That was a memorable trip.
When he was 8.5, he played his first tournament, and before that he practiced the notation. So then he wanted to play one game against me when we were at our cabin up in the mountains, and I agreed after some pressure from him and Dad, and that was the first time he beat me.
When he was 8.5, that was his first tournament overall, basically. And I thought he would do quite well because he had learned so much during those 6-7 months. But playing a tournament was somewhat different, so he came 11th, I think, in the end, or 13th. And he liked it a lot. And then a year later, he won this group. Here, his grandfather joined him to Iceland. That was one of his first kind of important victories. And with John Ludwig Hammer.
Later to become his second.
Yeah, I think he was second there as well.
So I hope to become a grandmaster this year.
And is that realistic?
Yes, I think quite realistic.
Chess was very much his life from the age of 8.